I can try to, and that's my main project here today, is to try to help you to move from the talks that we are doing and try to work on our governments to initiate what we are talking about. So that's what we are doing in Iceland, and it's working quite well. So anyway, what I want to do is really look at the curriculum that we are running in Iceland, and I will tell you a little bit more about that in the beginning and through the slides, how we are doing this. And I ask my friends from Scandinavia and those who have listened to me before that they may see 1 or 2 slides in the beginning for as an introduction, because I think we have the so nice history in swimming in Iceland. We have been swimming for so long that I thought maybe now, since we are a little relaxed, that I would entertain you with several or couple of film shots, because we have had a person make a very nice film that is called The Deep, and in that film he is following 2 persons who are competing of who would be the first person to swim over the channel, and in that he takes in our swimming history. So you will see some movies here, and I hope I will not screw it up here with these because it's all in a one band. So anyway, so what I want to do is go. Okay, there we go. Is to see a little bit of this history or how we have been doing this, and therefore, since we are on an island, we very soon in our fishery years we saw that we needed to have do something about all the drownings that we had. From there, we took this into the school curriculum very early, and that has really paid off. I'm pretty sure. I will show you some data about our swimming ability, and which is not only, as it said on the first one, not only a swimming ability, but also a life-saving ability. So let's just keep going. We will start off with a short film. As you can see, we are Vikings. And we did this all the way from 1000, when people were moving over to Iceland. Swimming was a lot of big sport in the Scandinavian countries with the Vikings, and they really enjoyed the swim part of. Now I'm going to see if I can work this out here. Can you hear this?
Chieftains as well as lowly slaves were keen swimmers, and swam both for enjoyment and to save their lives. Most of the settlers lived by the shore, and so their livelihood was as much derived from the sea as from the land. That is why they learned to swim.
This is the King of Norway who's pulled down.
Swimming was a way to increase endurance and agility. In sea wrestling, all grips were allowed. The aim was to keep one's opponent as long as possible underwater. One of the most famous wrestling bouts was in the River Nib in Norway in 997. This was when the Icelandic saga hero, Kjartan Ólafsson, took on King Olafur Tryggvason of Norway.
So you see,
In the pamphlet, Hafpor reminds us that
this is not working now.
swimming has been considered one of the best and most practical of sports. Our ancestors were fine swimmers, but swimming would have the same fate as so much else in Iceland. During the centuries of it,
Doesn't work. I'm sorry.
historical sources tell us that the first settlers of Iceland, chieftains and
can just press this one. Okay, okay. But now I have to forward the other one. So I don't want to see it again. Okay. Yeah. So there, this Kjartan Ólafsson was one of our Vikings, and he's in the sagas because he really held down the unbeatable king of Norway at this time, and therefore this has gone into the books. We, I don't know if you know a lot about our country. We have a lot of geothermal water. There's so much hot water in Iceland that we don't know what to do with it. And of course, the settlers, they found out about this fairly soon, and they built some puddles to heat up in, and they used the geothermal water to learn to swim. And so they made small little pools, and one of those is Snorralaug, who Snorri Sturluson used in his time around 1200. And as you can see, it has been protected since this time with hot water. And even he had a special walkway underground into the pool from his house. So he was actually one of the kings there. And at this time also, they were that good swimmers that they both swam themselves and with their children when they had to evacuate some of their other settlers. And one is said to have swum to Drangey, which is 6 kilometers in the ocean. And so Grettir had to get there and to live. The others couldn't follow him behind. So there are sagas of very big swimming results. Now, not everywhere in Iceland is there hot water. So there are parts where there is less hot water than in other places. So we started teaching swimming on land. And now I'm going to try to do another film, but first, so we're not going back and forth, I'm going to take the next couple of inputs here, and then we'll see a long film. So get a popcorn or something. And so we used the land to learn, and when we went into the water, we were still at this time thinking about safety first. And the third one clip that we will see is from the time that we were getting closer to our time today, around 1900. Then men were the only one who were supposed to swim. So let's see if I can now find the film again. No. Okay.
Gudmundsson reminds us that from ancient times, swimming has been considered one of the best and most practical of sports. Our ancestors were fine swimmers, but swimming would have the same fate as so much else in Iceland. During the centuries of inertia this nation endured, we forgot to swim. And it's no exaggeration that about 20 years ago, there were no more than 6 men in the country capable of saving their lives if they ended up in a pool where they didn't have their depth. We have so completely lost the skill of swimming that men took to crossing rivers and creeks by crawling across them submerged, way down with rocks.
So this was not so they wouldn't float away, so they were just staying at the bottom and crawling on the bottom over the rivers. Uh-oh. I'll show you one more. This is about the teaching on land. Well, I'll have to show you that.
Different methods of teaching people how to swim. The hanging frame is used on dry land to teach strokes before a swimmer enters the water. This is necessary where there are no hot pools available to teaching. The frame is comprised of 3 hoops that hang from a sturdy crossbeam. The largest hoop encircles the chest, while the 2 smaller ones are placed around the thighs.
Can you see, guys?
The chest hoop should be somewhat higher than the other 2, so that the upper body is more elevated when the person is suspended. The instruction is most likely to be successful if it is divided into 3 stages. First, the movement of the feet, next the hands, and finally all the movements combined.
It works. Doesn't it look good? And then the one with safety, that's what we are here to think about. Try to catch up.
The following description can be found. If the swimming place is so deep that one cannot find one's depth, it is necessary to have a swimming harness. This is a belt worn about the waist, having a sturdy ring to which a rope can be attached. The instructor holds the rope and can thus control the swimmer and ensure his safety until such time as he is capable of swimming unaided.
All right. There we go. Thank you very much. I don't know what I would do without you. So, from this, most of our swimming were really from 1900 because the shipwrecks were so many. As you can see, the fishing boats that we were using, they were not very healthy, and rowboats, people in heavy clothing, they had not a lot of chance of living. And approximately all 40% of man death were happening because of drowning. So this is what made our nation realize that something had to be done. And we started thinking about getting teachers. Nachtingall's rules we used, and we got some Danish teachers to start teaching us around 1820 and onwards. We started building swimming pools using the hot geothermal water. This is one of the oldest one, who was in Reykjavik, in around the ocean, and we heated up both the ocean and regular water. As you can see, this is taken though around 1900, and there you see women swimming. 5 minutes already? No, you are too tough. Oh my God. So in 1931, there was a bad accident on a boat, and the government then set a new rule that we would have to look at the legislation for swimming. As you can see on the 1925, it was already started to talk, and after the accident, there was just a desperate way of saving the few Icelanders. We were only about 100,000 or something at this time. This pool, I don't know if I can show you here with a pointer. Where is it? This pool here is built with 3 walls in the mountain. You see a clamp on the surface of it, and it had hot water there. And this pool was built at that time, 1920s, and it's still open. It is a big tourist attraction. It's free. Everybody can go there in the mountains. So runs well. In 1940, we had all school children learn to swim. First, in the beginning, they started doing this in 3rd class and up to 10th class. Now, after that, it was 1st class, grade 1 to grade 10. And this is our system today. And I know some of you have heard this before, but I really, really want you to understand the importance of this. Because Iceland was a very poor country around 1940, just around the war. And but since it was a law, then they had to apply, and they had to build pools around the country. Small pools, 16 meters, 2.5, and so on. As you can see, there were 20 hours that the children should get at least per week, and 20 hours per week for the whole year, over the year, and for 10 years. So children today are getting 200 hours of swimming in their school time. So we have a possibility to do exactly what you guys have been talking about here in the last days, to replicate movements again and again and again. So this is how we work it, and we wanted to see if the what do we call it, Bob? The Nordic definition, or now the Nordic definition of swimming, if that would hold up. So what we did, we had some of our students, and this, as you saw on the first slide, and I'm sorry, I don't have a lot of data on this. This is a work in process, and we haven't got all the data in. But what we have now is that there were children from grade 5 from 5 schools, and it was a cross-sectional study where we measured several things, not only the 200-meter test that has been the Nordic test until now. And so I just show you here, the tests were 200-meter swim, where 50 meters was backstrokes to keep up with the Nordic definition, jumping and diving into the pool, floating, trading water for 2 minutes. We also then had them change from front to back and back to front. And in the end, orientation, moving in different areas, going 360 circles at the deck and climbing out. So they did most of those things that you guys are really emphasizing to be competent. So how did they do? They were 5th graders, so they're 10 years old. And unfortunately, this slide does not give a very good sample of our swimming possibilities, because it's only 87% of the boys and 78% of the girls who seem to be able to swim. But now I want to clarify a little bit. If we look at this slide, where I have taken all the actions that they were doing, we had 97% of boys, 92% of girls, or 95% total being able to do the 200-meter swim. And on we go, floating 96%, turning 98%, 99% in orientation, being in the water, being able to do all the skills that we're thinking. The only thing that did not work completely, and that could be our fault, is that jumping and diving in the pool. Some of the kids were a little scared to do it. The instructor wasn't tough enough to say, okay, you have to jump or dive. So they could go in, and then we didn't count it. But anyway, on the average, even though we take the 75%, we have a 95% swimming ability skill in grade 5. And I think this really shows that if we do this early enough, if we do it with confidence through the whole thing, and our swimming teaching is built up in a way not being only swimming from one A to B, but life-saving skills. This is the result. And I am sure that we can say that our children in grade 5 are at least in the second circle of Matt Melby's circle of competence and your work, and maybe not in the competence one, but we're getting there. And 7th graders, they swim completely all strokes 2 years later. So we're quite happy with what is happening in our swimming curriculum. I just want to show you here a picture. The last one there. I feel that this competence ability of our children really helps in a situation that they may have to need it. This family has 2 boys who went in this. It was what do you call it? A waterfall from a lake, and it was like a tumble dryer. It was so hard that they went in. One boy went in after a ball. The older brother went in to help him, and he started rolling again. Then a grown-up man came and wanted to pick them up. He started rolling. The 4th person, the police, came and started tumble turning. But the boys said that they had learned, because they were always coming up to the surface, they did not panic too much. They came up because they knew they were coming up, and they gasped for air. So it was in their mind that they had to get some air. So the conclusion is, we are land people. If we want to do something in water, we have to train it, practice it, and work on it. We don't want to swim for 20 seconds. We have to change the reality in the world. Countries have to put money into teaching children early to swim and stay with it. We could do it as a small nation. We are 330,000 people. And it was 1940 when we did this. And everybody swims in Iceland. There's not one person who cannot swim in Iceland. So it takes an effort from our countries. But I tell you, you have to ask me some questions now, because he's going to cut on me. We don't always have the best ideas. The pools. This is me over there in an outdoor pool in the winter, and it's about 10 degrees minus, and we're teaching outside, but the kids are in a 30-degree pool. And the funny thing is, when I'm teaching, I can see them half of the pool. After that, they disappear, so it can be tough. These are our beautiful pools in Iceland. We have lots of outdoor pools and facilities, and the people swim. The communities give free access for children to go to the pools. So we really, really work on those ideas that the more you're in the pool, the more acceptable you are to the water and the water to you. So I really agree with you guys. It is training. Thank you very much.